Bonjour, Madame Blue here, and I am back with another video in my black hair care series. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you haven't viewed videos 1 through 4, make sure you view videos 1 through 4. And today we are going to be discussing, protein treatments versus deep conditioners. And actually we're going to pause because I can't talk with both retainers, so I don't know why I did that. Okay, so we are going to start with protein treatments. Protein treatments deal more with the structure of the hair. You only want to do protein treatments if your hair is lacking protein. So a way to tell if your hair is lacking protein is if you have ramen noodle hair or overcooked ramen noodles hair. You know how it's all mushy and ugh. So as I stated in previous videos, hair is made up of protein. So you only want to do protein treatments if you're lacking protein. So if you have limp hair, mushy hair, hair that's just literally breaking when you look at it, more than likely you have a protein deficiency. And that can happen from chemical services. If you've ever had a relaxer, if you ever had blonde highlights, any type of chemical services that alters the normal composition of the hair, then that can cause you to be lacking in protein. So if you're someone with natural virgin hair, more than likely you don't have a protein issue because you have not done anything to your hair to affect the protein in the hair. So the proteins that are in the packets or containers, whatever, has gone through a process that breaks down the molecules to allow it to be able to penetrate the hair strand and go directly into the cortex. And what protein does, it replaces missing protein in the hair. So it helps, why would I just look down? I'm trying to remember, look. So protein helps equalize porosity and assist with elasticity. So if you have not seen my other videos, porosity deals with the ability for your hair, to retain and absorb, and elasticity deals with your hair's ability to stretch and return back to its normal shape. So if you have curly hair and you stretch your hair out and it stays straight, you got a problem. Even if you have straight hair and you stretch it and it doesn't bounce back to it where it originally was, you have a problem. Sometimes the hair is not repairable. Like if you have white blonde hair, you just mess with everything. So you definitely need some protein treatments and some deep conditioning treatments. Speaking of deep conditioning deals more with the moisture and hydration of the hair. Conditioners deal more with the hydration and moisture of the hair, and they can be used more often than protein treatments. Protein treatments are not something you want to use often. If you have pretty healthy hair but you are chemically altered, then it's something that you would want to do like once or twice a year. If you have virgin hair, like no chemicals on your hair at all, then once a year, if that, it depends on what your hair needs. But if you have like damaged hair, then you could do them more often. But if you do too many protein treatments, your hair is just gonna do what it was already doing. It's gonna break off. It's not gonna be healthy because you've done too much. Also with protein, protein is also known as keratin. So if you ever see a product that lists keratin on it, that means there's some type of protein in it. So you want to be careful with dealing with products like that, because if you're not lacking protein and you're constantly using a product with keratin, then you can also be causing more damage to your hair in the long run. Okay, so back to conditioners. Conditioners can be used weekly, bi-weekly, once a month. It depends on what your hair needs. If it's natural, if it's relaxed, if you're in an environment where it's dry, or if you're in an environment where there's moisture. So conditioners are totally different. You can pretty much use a deep conditioner as needed, but you do not want to use them too much either, because too much of any good thing becomes a bad thing. You shampoo your hair too often, now it's a bad thing. You over condition, now it's a bad thing. Too much protein, now it's a bad thing. So you want to do everything in moderation as needed. So deep conditioners differ from regular conditioners because they're usually a thicker consistency, and they usually require heat and longer processing time to actually work. So most deep conditioners you have to leave in for about 20 to 30 minutes, and you need heat to help with it. So usually you want to sit under a hooded dryer like that thing back there. And if you don't have that, then you just kind of use your natural body heat to work. But and regular conditioners, they're in for usually 1 to 3 minutes. They rinse out. It's like it's more temporary, so they're not going to be as effective as a deep conditioner. So deep conditioners should be used all the time if you are chemically altered, if you have a relaxer, if you have hair color of any kind, any type of chemicals that's been put on your natural hair, you would need some type of treatments because you've altered your hair. If you have perfectly fine, healthy, natural virgin hair, then you may not need to do as many conditioning treatments or protein treatments. Again, for the protein you probably won't have to do any. For the conditioning, it depends on your environment. Arizona, as I've stated before, is dry and ashy. So if you are a natural in Arizona or a dry, ashy climate with dry, dusty water, you're going to need to do deep conditioning treatments every time you shampoo your hair. Unless you shampoo your hair like multiple times a week, which I don't know why you would be doing that, but people do what they want to do. Like I deep condition every time I shampoo my hair. And I shampoo depending on my hairstyle. So on average, I would say every 3 weeks is when I shampoo my hair, and every single time, unless I'm being lazy, I do a deep condition. And I've been like that even when I was relaxed living in Michigan. I always got deep conditions when I went to go get my hair done. Also, when choosing a deep conditioner, you want to make sure you choose one that's for your hair type. And when I say hair type, I don't mean for A, B, C, D, F, G. I mean depending on your density for one, because if your hair is fine, then a lot of these products are going to be too heavy for your hair. For example, my clients who have, I'm trying to see if you can see it on that picture, but my clients who have straight fine hair, I can't use my design essentials on it. I can't use any of my products that geared toward black women on their hair because it's just too heavy, and all it does is weigh their hair down, and no matter how much I rinse, the conditioner just leaves build up in their hair. So you want to choose something that's right for your density, your porosity levels, pretty much basically what your hair needs. And I discussed hair needs in previous videos, so I'm going to make sure you view my previous videos. And then also your hair needs a balance between protein and moisture. That's why it's important that you do not over protein your hair, over moisturize the hair, because then you're just going to cause the opposite to happen, and you're going to create your own damage to your hair. So that is it. I just got another message. Like, can I just, it wasn't a client, it was family. They were replying to me. But that is it. If you have any other questions regarding anything, slide in my DMs. I never know what people don't know until people ask me questions, and I'm like, no, that's not right. So I don't know if I covered everything, but if there's anything else you want to know, just let me know. Slide in my DMs, comment on this video. Make sure you follow me on all social media. Madame Blue the Stylist on Instagram, Styles by Madame Blue on Facebook. I'm Madame Blue everywhere. And that is it. Oh, one more thing I just want to say that has nothing to do with protein. I really need people to stop asking how to make their hair grow back. As I stated before in my hair growth video, hair growth is just something that happens. If you're having a problem with your hair falling out, you need to figure out first why it fell out. You can go to a dermatologist. They can let you know, first of all, if your hair follicles can even produce hair, because if it cannot, the hair is not coming back. So you need to know the root of the problem before you can solve the problem. So nobody can tell you how to grow your hair. They can just tell you these products that claim to promote hair growth, but if your hair growth is due to age, medication, your hair follicles just not working, those are not going to work. If it fell out due to tension, you may have damaged your hair follicles. But if you have healthy hair follicles, then it can grow back. So step number one is finding out if your hair follicles are still producing hair. Okay? Okay. I'm in these groups on Facebook, and every single day it's like, how can my hair grow back? How did it fall out? Okay, I'm done. Make sure to like, subscribe, watch all my other videos, share, let all your friends and family know. And that's it. TTYL.